some hidden demons in there with that comment.
Yeah. You gotta get all the demons for this. I mean, if you're gonna be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, you can't not unleash a couple of demons.
John, you gotta access your inner like MatPat impression.
Oh, on that note, I think we literally started by talking about MatPat. Hi, everybody. I'm Spencer, and today I'm joined by two special movie buffs, and unfortunately they're not Robert and Ebert. I am here with Gnarly of the Nyarlathotep Movie Review Critic League.
What is up, Drama Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news.
Now, why don't you
Is that good enough for you?
Why don't you start all of your streams like that? That's how every stream you ever do should be.
Okay.
That was fantastic. Also, a little creepy how accurate it was to what I imagine Keemstar would sound like. But I appreciate it nonetheless. So, yes, besides New York Gnarly here, I'm also joined by stick figure and Fire Emblem amiibo aficionado, Oziak.
What up? I'm not doing the Keemstar thing. I'm just vibing.
Yeah, you're just loud.
You want to do the MatPat thing?
I
haven't watched any of his videos in like 5 years. So
how do MatPat videos open? Just.
Hey guys, I just got back from watching Sonic 2, and I've got a couple of theories.
You know what? We're doing a live stream, so hey guys, welcome to GT Live, SMT Live.
Man, it's too bad that this is about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because I actually had beef with him for calling it GT Live because he called it GT Live after GameTrailers.com started doing live streams, and they would call their stuff GT Live. They were the first GT Live. And I remember how like salty they were because obviously, hence why GameTrailers.com is no longer around. That outlived it. It was a much more popular thing. But in like my brain, it was always like, oh, MatPat stealing the GameTrailers.com hype, and clearly had nothing to do with Viacom selling them to Defy and killing them. But hey, we're not here to talk about MatPat or all that other stuff. We're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie 2, 2022, not the video game Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So
free movie online trailer now,
yeah,
2022.
Exactly. So just a free link, also NFT, all those other SEO things. But yeah, so we're just going to talk about this movie. This will be a spoiler cast, but in case you're really mean and clicked on a video that said Spoilercast and just wanted our spoiler-free opinions, well, we will give those to you here first. So we're going to give a quick little opinion digest here. But before we do that, just in case, because I don't know if any of us... I know I reviewed Sonic Colors on my channel recently where I kind of dived into my Sonic history / like, I was going to say lore. It's not that deep. So I figured we'd start with the icebreaker question. Gnarly, you're going to go first. What is your favorite ending in Shadow the Hedgehog and why?
It's probably the one where I think you get the same result in both of them, but I'd say the one where you like help Black Doom up until the very end. And then he's like, with the Chaos Emeralds, I will destroy this damn planet.
I need to just tell you this, because I was actually watching someone play Shadow the Hedgehog recently. Did you know that Kevin Fraining actually worked on the localization for Shadow the Hedgehog?
Oh, nice.
And he did a playthrough, I think it's called Lost in Localization or something, on Twitch and stuff, and they played through the entirety of Shadow the Hedgehog. Every time I watch someone play Shadow the Hedgehog, I just feel bad for them, because they just don't... No one ever looks like they're having fun playing Shadow the Hedgehog.
I mean, I have fun when I play it.
But do you
see, John understands.
Wait, what?
No, but I don't see anyone streaming themselves having fun. I hear people say it's fun to play it. I've played it, but I've never thought, is this fun to stream? So maybe like there's something about playing it online that just like adds to the stress of everything.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll try streaming it. I don't think anyone would watch it though.
Spencer, you're enabling this man.
You're gonna tell me with a straight face, if you just out of the blue streamed a full playthrough of Shadow the Hedgehog, no one would watch?
Well, some people would probably watch.
There'd be you would find a whole new audience in a way that you
yeah, your channel's gonna blow up.
Okay.
So Ozzy, I'll give you a little bit of a less out of left field question. What is the last Sonic game you played?
See, I had a good answer for the last question, but I see you're trying to rob me of being prepared.
Correct.
What the heck was the last Sonic game I
hope it's
played?
Mario and Sonic at the Olympics 2020.
Unfortunately, no, it's not.
No, it's 2008.
Oh gosh. What the heck would the last Sonic game I played be? Not Mania.
You were too smart. You didn't play Sonic Colors. You listened to my review.
I didn't play Sonic Colors. I don't know. Sonic has just been like an amalgam in my brain where all the games, while distinct in their own flaws, have just bled together in my personal history.
Dang.
It probably was Mania, but that's like too easy.
Yo, shout out
Though
to Sega for at least the last 2 movies. I finished both of these movies and I go, God, that was really great. I'm in the mood for some Sonic. And then I look and there's nothing new to play that's not Sonic Mania, so I just go back to Sonic Mania and play that.
I mean, I will say, I completely forgot that for my last birthday, somebody just got me Sonic Generations. And I still have somehow not played that, so like,
that's
I just probably need to sit down and do that someday.
Oh, hold up, actually. Haven't you also not played Generations? I thought we talked about this.
No, I haven't.
That's what you
got
need
it.
To stream.
I got it on Steam for $1.
So good. Sonic Generations is so good. Unfortunately, Demicro, thank you for the super chat. Sonic Forces, not the best game. Actually, who here has played Sonic
I don't
Forces?
know.
I have.
I don't know. With that $2, Spencer, you can afford Sonic Forces.
Kind of shit.
Gnarly, I want you to know, I genuinely am upset at you now that you've played Forces before Generations. That, like, really breaks me.
I mean, I didn't finish it. I played it for like 2 hours, and I was like, this is
you were
boring.
you were so close to the finish line.
Literally almost long enough to beat the game. The game is, like, less than 4 hours long. It's horrendous.
Okay, so it's about as long as Sonic and the Black Knight. Okay.
Well, because the Sonic and the Black Knight takes significantly longer than Forces.
I beat that game in like 3 hours.
There is literally just like a common trend of people beating Sonic Forces on Steam and being like, "Oh, did it under 3 hours. Time to refund."
Oh my god, I never thought about that. That's a good point. But no, we're not gonna talk about the games anymore. But I did lie to you all. We're actually not gonna get into our Sonic Movie 2 opinions yet because what's a real better way to do an icebreaker for who these strange trio of people are? Well, we are going to give our opinion, our Twitter-sized opinion, on what do we think of the first movie. Now, for context, I have not seen Sonic the Hedgehog 1 since it was in theaters in 2020, but I kid you not, I saw it 3 times in theaters. I was
that checks out.
With that movie, like from first showing to third showing, I was like, I cannot believe how hard I'm laughing at this breast milk joke. It is 10 out of 10, peak comedy, and every time getting the theater's reaction was worth the price of admission alone. It wasn't perfect, but it was like the best definition of how can you actually polish a turd into a fun movie. That's what I think of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Like, that would have been such a bad movie if they hadn't delayed it, and I'm really, really glad they did. Gnarly, what about you? What do you remember from Sonic 1? What are your opinions of it now?
Well, I mean, I actually watched it a couple days ago after I had seen the second one because like, at first my thoughts, like, what I remember my thoughts on it was like, I mean, this movie's okay, so then I went back and watched it, and I pretty much had the same opinion. Like, honestly, the Sonic 1 movie, like, I don't really think it's that good of a movie. I think people were just kind of easy on it because Paramount went out of their way to change that horrible design that Sonic had. But, I mean, I feel like...
released the, even if the animation wasn't finished, I think we all would at least morbidly want to see what that finished movie looked like.
Release the Paramount cut.
I mean, like... I mean, you know, like I said, I thought it was okay, but it could have just been any, like, you know, cartoon character comes to life or, like, superhero movie with Sonic.
Could we give a shout out?
It didn't really.
Do you remember the release date of that movie?
It was Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day 2020. If only we knew it was a warning sign to the 2 years that were to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's my opinion on the movie.
Okay, because I remember we actually saw it opening night together downtown. Actually, R.I.P. That theater is dead now. The only Alamo that was in the Midwest where we were. But I remember we came off it all really hot because we all pretty much went to that showing expecting it to be a dumpster fire. So the fact that it was remotely viewable, it was like, all right.
Yeah. Like when I saw like the updated trailer, I kind of thought, I mean, Sonic looks better, but I mean, I still don't think the movie's gonna be super amazing. So I guess it was better than I thought it would be, but I wouldn't say it was amazing.
That's a great point. I actually did go recently and rewatch both trailers, the old one and the revamped one. It is true. The revamped trailer looks better, but it still looks like the exact same bad first trailer. Like, they didn't, change the tone of it, really. They just changed how it looked, which was an interesting choice. But
And at least they did better. At least they chose better music.
Oh my god, Gangster's Paradise. That's a choice.
It'd be funny if for Sonic 3 they just, as a joke, released a trailer that used Gangster's Paradise.
I'll tell you what, there's a song in Sonic 2 we'll talk about soon. I'm surprised they did not give away the trailer. But Ozzy, what about you? How did you remember the first movie, and when was the last time you saw it?
Yes, the last time I saw Sonic 1... Oh gosh, that's what we're calling it. Yeah, that was in, that was when it was in theaters, and it very much was a film where I went in expecting, a 4 out of 10, and I watched it and walked out having seen a 5 out of 10. I was like, it was not awful or necessarily bad overall. It was just it was shrug worthy. It was a very it was like Hop. It was the movie Hop, but with Sonic now, and better because it wasn't Hop.
Have you seen the movie Hop?
I've seen the movie Hop a shocking amount of times, Spencer.
Let me guess, with family.
Nope, I bet it was alone.
It definitely was. I don't know why, but my childhood was filled with me watching the same bad movies constantly.
James Marsden fan. The last
Exactly.
James Marsden movie I'd seen, actually, before Sonic 1, I shit you not, was Sex Drive, where he's the antagonistic brother. If you've not seen Sex Drive, it's a really great raunchy, one of those mid-2000s raunchy comedies. But what's funny about it is James Marsden plays just opposite of almost every role he always gets typecasted as. Really great, but it is one of those weird ones of you have to watch the R-rated cut because the unedited, unrated version is a worst movie. It's worse when it's unrated. It's nope, you should have kept the R-rated.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's funny thinking of James Marsden in a movie like that. Because, yeah, I think of James Marsden, I'm like, yeah, Sonic, Hop, and, Enchanted.
What? You think of that before, X-Men? What's wrong with you?
You're right, X-Men as well.
Hop and Enchanted. I want you to know, I've actually still not seen Enchanted, and I'm I know I need to, because they're doing a sequel.
It's a fine... What?
Yeah, the sequel's coming out, this year.
What are you talking... What?
There was a
no, that's a lie. You are lying to me.
Live-action sequel to Enchanted in production right now.
Is it same actors?
What?
Same actors. Literally, look it up.
What?
Have you guys not followed Disney news every day, every second like me?
No.
Yeah,
what the heck?
Yeah, for real. It's happening. That's why I'm Mary's a huge fan of the first one, so I know I'm gonna have to see it eventually. So
it's been 15 years.
Never too late for all of those actors to get paid again, apparently. But I will say though, thank you at least for making, because the thing I think I never really gets put up enough. I at least never felt while watching that first movie that no one on this movie just didn't care. It felt like everyone probably over-tried. No one felt like they phoned in that first movie, even when they probably could have and should have. Yeah,
which... This movie, I kind of feel like some people did in the newer one.
Okay. All right, well...
I do.
We'll let you go first, then. So for Sonic the Hedgehog 2... spoiler-free opinion, without just verbatimly reading off your tweet, of like from a few days ago. What is your opinion of it?
I think it is a 6 out of 10, but with like a big asterisk. That movie, like, shine. Cause the thing with the first movie is, I didn't really like, especially like any character in that movie. I thought Eggman was kind of entertaining. Sonic was kind of entertaining, and James Marsden's character was, yeah, exactly. I actually just rewatched, like this morning I was dead tired and I just rewatched a Ben Schwartz comedy special, like one of the improv ones he did. Like that was the first thing I did waking up for no reason.
Wait, like an actual comedy special he did, or like is it his Netflix stuff?
It was the Netflix one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But like, yeah, he did fine. James Marsden was better in that film, but it was still like human character just kind of reacting to fish out of water man. It was fine. This movie had characters I like, because I did really enjoy Tails and Knuckles usually. But the rest of the characters, Sonic was about the same as he was before. The rest of the characters I thought were way more annoying. It was way more like significant for me, for all the humans. It's a weird time. It's especially Eggman. Oh my gosh.
Gnarly, what about you? What did you think coming off the movie? You left the theater. What were your thoughts?
Oh, I'd say it was somewhere between a 7 and an 8 out of 10, because like I said earlier, the first one, like, that could have just been any cartoon character or superhero movie with Sonic, but this one actually felt like an adaptation of like the video games. And like, I thought the acting was decent. I liked the way they like introduced and established Knuckles and Tails. I actually thought Sonic was a lot better in this movie, and the action was also pretty good. I'd say the only part I didn't like was that whole thing with like that whole like wedding subplot, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, don't even get me started with that crap.
Man, I think like if there was like a from lowest to highest, I think we've pretty much got it there. Like I'm apparently way higher on it than both of you, but I'm gonna be honest, I felt like this movie was written by me for me. Like, the jokes that I laughed at were like the theater was silent. Like, I'm literally, when they were like, hey Ozzy, what movie do you want to watch? And we're not watching Snow Dogs again, I was hollering. I'm like, that's a bad movie, I love Snow Dogs.
Are you telling me? And listen, I'm not saying I wasn't right there with you. But when Eggman's last line in that movie was "later haters," were you cackling unironically?
I'm gonna say this, and I've seen, I think, literally every Jim Carrey performance, whether it be television, documentary, or movie. I unequivocally think that him as Eggman in Sonic 2 is his best performance he's ever done.
I'm gonna not.
It's
a whole other word.
Because I liked his take of Robotnik in 1 of like, he's a weirdo, but he's not like there are people out there who act like that. Like he basically So okay, I hope this doesn't like date me, or I hope at least one of you have seen this movie. Have you guys seen Grandma's Boy?
Nope.
Sounds familiar.
Okay. He's basically that uber nerd if he got government funding of like, I'm the coolest, I'm the smartest, I'm the weirdo, and here's my fanboy. By the way, I fucking love Agent Stone. It's still in this one as well.
Stone was great.
But like,
I like Stone.
Their chemistry worked really well. He was great with the human characters and with Sonic, although he didn't really get it. Like, you forget how little he's in the first one with Sonic, of like, he's just, I'm in a truck, I'm sending you drones. Well, like, they're not really interacting a lot, whereas like, he got so much more FaceTime with everybody. I did not think we'd get as much Knuckles and Robotnik as we did in this, and like him and his super dated, I'm just super crazy like antics just felt really accurate to like, yeah, this is probably what would have happened to a guy who ate mushrooms for a year.
That's true.
But but at the same time, I totally get his entire existence as a character is like cringy, stupid. Like him flossing is not meant to be LOL, that's funny. Like when I saw people who complained about they included the flossing, like to me, that's its own inside joke. Of like, you need to remember that there was a trailer where they showed Sonic flossing and everyone said, I hate that, and they took it out of the movie. But then Robotnik doing it is so out of character, it's almost like in character because of how insane he is.
But that's the thing, because, like, the big thing that kind of annoyed me with this movie was, like you said, like, Robotnik's performance, Jim Carrey's performance as Robotnik in the first movie wasn't quite Eggman, but it very much felt like
it was
a kind of
story.
crazy. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It felt like a kind of crazy dude being like pushed into that kind of Eggman persona, and it felt like he had reached that by the end of the first movie, and like especially once he had the full getup in the like the after credits and everything, I was actually excited for the second movie because I was like, okay, I think if Jim Carrey, he has a little origin, now he's just full Eggman mode, I think this could be awesome. But the second movie comes, and, I wouldn't mind if it doesn't, like, feel like, traditional Eggman, as long as the performance of the character is still good. But it just felt like instead of going the Eggman angle, they just took it in the weird, like weirdo, like self-referential, totally insane person realm, but not even in like a way that I found entertaining. I was just like, what? I was questioning the sanity of the writers more than the character.
There's a lot of interviews. I don't know how much you guys would have like checked out many. Jim Carrey was like, I improvised a ton, and then when you watch
that makes sense.
That makes a lot. Like him when he has the Chaos Emerald and he's talking like a robot, none of that was written. He just started acting like a robot, and they were like, well, let's keep it all in. He was never supposed to have a robot voice.
Has Jim Carrey played any of the Sonic games?
No, but he's aware of it from like his kids and stuff.
Yeah, that checks out. Which, as long as it's like a good performance and like entertaining, it doesn't have to be Eggman.
No, and he has a lot of respect for the character. From like all the interviews I've seen with him, he actually was advocating for. He wanted to have the game figure for this. He wanted the mustache to be bigger. He wanted the body suit. Like he wanted the fat suit for this one. Like so, he wanted to go like as cartoony as humanly possible, and like his biggest like kind of inspiration for it, from what I could really tell, was it actually felt like almost a weird mixture of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Boom Eggman.
See, that I'm like totally fine with, because like Sonic Boom Eggman feels like kind of like a better, maybe like a more manic version of that, but that seems like a better angle to take it. And I feel like if they went actually like really cartoony with this Eggman, which they do to an extent, I think that would have worked really, really well. But instead, to me, it very much felt more so like a how do you do fellow kids kind of character that was both ironic and unironic all at once.
Nearly, what about you? Was Eggman like cringy or funny to you? I ate it up. I couldn't get over how funny he was.
I'd say a little bit of both. I mean, that's kind of like what Eggman's character is, but I mean, I kind of agree with Ozzy. Like, I think if they had tried to bring like Eggman to life in a movie, it wouldn't have worked all that well. So I think Jim Carrey like did the best he could with that character.
He's a good pick for that character. I just think he could have done better with it.
I need to know like what blackmail someone had on Jim Carrey, because like if you looked at his most recent movies before this, they all make sense, and then it's like, what? How is this going to be what might be Jim Carrey's last movie? Like, it's like,
yeah,
it's, you know what this is, and I don't mean this in a really sad way, but it's like a career-defining performance in a place that it doesn't deserve to be in. Like, whether you like it or not, people will remember this movie with him in it because of just how weird it is. It's like Raul Julia how his final movie was M. Bison in Street Fighter the movie, and he
Oh my gosh.
over-delivered it to the nth degree. So it's like, it's one of those weird things of like, no offense James Marsden, no offense Ben Schwartz, everyone in this movie, they seem to fit the budget, but then Jim Carrey is like, someone cashed in a big favor. Like, everyone else in this movie, I would believe, because like, it almost, like, I don't even know if this is like fair to say, if you took Jim Carrey out of this and just gave it to anyone else, even if you gave it to like Robotnik's original voice actor or like current voice actor, this could just feel like a made-for-TV movie. But like something about having that big name makes me go, this is weird, I gotta be here for it.
Yeah, like, because one thing I can't take from it, regardless of my feelings on the performance, is it's not forgettable at all. It's extremely memorable. I know it just sick with me though. Like the first thing that one of my friends who I went to see it with said to me leaving the theater, and I already mentioned the line, but he was like, "You ever think about how later haters could be the last line Jim Carrey ever says in a film?" And I lost my mind thinking about that.
You'll see that in his in memoriam when he passes away. It'll just be later haters.
I need this now.
I guess we can kind of like pull this one out. Do we want Robotnik to be the villain in the third one? Because I feel like the movie actually does a really great job of, and they've said, the writers and the director have said, it's not meant to kill him off, but it's meant to leave it really ambiguous. I kind of like how it does it, because it almost is like he can now be gone for as long as the movie needs him to be, and I kind of want him, like, to, like, not take a break, because I don't think, like, the movie would be better with him. I'm like, maybe include him in, like, a scene. Like, maybe have him in a flashback or something like that. But, like, I think it would be, like, a little much if we had him in 3 for 3. But are you guys expecting or want him in Sonic 3?
I mean, it depends on what they do with him. Because, I mean, I'm guessing we're not gonna discuss the... I mean, do you want to? Do you mind if I discuss the end credits?
No, yeah, we can do the end credits because that's tied to this, and we're already in full spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
run, guys, if you don't want to be spoiled.
Well, like, okay, so playing the like, I mean, not playing. So watching the movie, I kind of noticed that it seemed loosely based on Sonic Adventure, and then at the end you had that end credit scene where they teased Shadow. So I'm like, okay, maybe this one's going to be loosely based on Sonic Adventure 2. So does that mean like? Does that mean Eggman's going to be a good guy in the next one, assuming he's still alive?
It's hard to say because I feel like Gunn basically just said, "Hey, Robotnik was making Shadow."
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Black Doom is going to be the bad guy.
I'll tell you right now, I will bet you $100 Maria is in the movie. No way that she's not in the movie.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I also think that I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I think that like. Is the gun commander? Is he like supposed to be the same gun commander from Shadow?
I'm pretty sure.
That is all right. Can we at least, by the way, there's a bajillion references in this movie. When they said what gun stood for and that's where they were from, I was like the only one in my theater who got it, and I was like, that is a pull. Like, the reference gun is like, that's not a mainstream Sonic thing. There's no gun merchandise.
Okay. But the thing is, I got it immediately before they even said it, and this isn't a fault of the movie. It's not a flaw with the movie. It's more so just a flaw with the Sonic series, because the moment I realized it was Gun, I started laughing at the movie, and at the franchise as a whole.
Is that because you are biased, and you hate that Olive Garden guy is in charge of Gun?
Listen... I don't know why. I've always just found Gun funny, whether it was deserved or not. I just think Gun is a hilarious concept.
It's a weirdly aggressive acronym. like
it's
shield,
so good.
gun. Like, even sword. I get sword, I get shield. Gun is like, for a kid's game? Because what was the first one? Sonic Adventure 2? That was Gun?
No, well, yeah, maybe... I don't think it was in Adventure 1, so yeah, I think it was Adventure 2.
I just remember Gun from the first level, but it is just one of those things of like, I think it's such a hard thing to take seriously then this almost goes into the whole it's intentional because of how ridiculous it is that the fact
Well, because they definitely play it for a joke.
Well, no, leaning into the fact that how do we find out that they work for Gunn? Because they could have just been regular secret agent guys like in the first movie. It's the fact that we're revealed that it's Olive Garden guy and then it's Gunn. Like, that's how I know that it's on purpose.
It's Olive Garden guy who, like, purposefully set up a fake wedding set in Hawaii. A fake romance and wedding set to a marriage in Hawaii where every single groomsman is also a secret agent, and the entire plan is so they can capture a blue alien.
Are you
that is all
I think we need to draw our line in the sand. And anyone watching live or anyone in the comments later, let me know, are you team Olive Garden or do you hate that joke? Because the fact that they brought back the Olive Garden guy and then made repeated jokes about Olive Garden with no
it just made me give him a gift card.
With no sponsorship, again, I'm like, that's the most committed, like, not funny joke, and I love it so much.
I'll give it that. I thought that joke actually was funny, of them kind of patting themselves on the back for that. If that's how you want to
were you then I'm assuming not a fan of it originally in the first one, where it just played straight?
I definitely laughed at it originally. This time I was like, okay, you've earned it. I'll give you this. I'll let you have this credit.
So, like, I assume... I don't want to, like, guess, like, if you two had to guess, do you know why they included the Olive Garden joke in the first movie / This one's really... It was included because it was very, like, divisive whether people liked it or hated it. Do you two know why they included Olive Garden for the first movie? Because it wasn't a sponsorship.
What?
No, it wasn't.
I have no idea.
Like, so you guys have no idea why they would include Olive Garden for that joke?
No, well, because I was going to say, like, it was a sponsorship, and it also worked as an easy way to, like, resolve the plot.
100% it was not. The only reason, it's the exact same thing like the Fast and Furious thing. Although, to be fair, the Fast and Furious thing is a little bit of a weird one. I like to assume they're meta with it, but then also one of the producers is also from the first Fast and Furious. No, the only reason the Olive Garden joke is there because Olive Garden's tagline is "When you're here, you're family," and the whole point is it's a cheesy, stupid, we're all a big family thing at the end. So that's the only reason Olive Garden is there, because people like to meme on the stupid "When you're here, you're family" like motto for it. That's the only reason it's included, which is why I love it so much.
So the first movie was not sponsored.
First movie not sponsored. Second movie also not sponsored, but it was brought back mostly to make fun of it being in the first movie.
Okay, because I thought it was kind of like a Fight Club situation, if anything. Maybe not that, like, symbolic, but, like, you know, they're getting the sponsorship, but they're still kind of playing it for a joke, where, like, in Fight Club, it's all, like, anti-consumerist, but every single scene has a Starbucks cup.
Yarly, tell me one thing from Sonic 2 you remember that was clearly product placement.
I don't know. I was in a daze.
Yarly, what about you? Please tell me you remember. Sonic reaches through the portal. He's grabbing his favorite snack at the grocery store. What does he grab? Starts with an O.
Oreos?
Not Oreos. Specifically, what was next to the Oreos?
Ovaltine? I have no idea.
Oreo Thins. Like, no.
Oh,
no, I can't
okay.
Go. Like,
it's not Oreos, it's Oreo Thins.
When they specifically got the thin one, that's how I know it's product placement. No child, because Sonic is still like a kid. No child's like, no, Mom, I'm wanting the Oreo Thins, please. Okay. I'm over here partying with the fucking dog and the pool in the house, but don't go overboard with the double stuffed.
This is kind of like a tangent, but the mention of, like, Sonic basically being a kid did remind me of this. How do you feel about the whole, like, shift to James Marsden is now suddenly, like, Sonic's dad?
Uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. Because the first movie...
They're friends, right? It's like, oh,
yeah,
we're buddies.
That's the thing. The first movie establishes a very clear, like, you know, Sonic's very kiddie, but, like, you know, it's a friendship where he kind of unlocks the, like, more reckless side out of James Marsden. and like James Marsden teaches him some responsibility, and it's like, it's like the standard Hop dynamic, as I call it. But then we get with this movie the whole talk on the boat where Sonic's like, "You're supposed to be my friend, not my dad," which is the most like genuinely justified statement I've ever heard said in a movie like this. And then he just calls him dad at the end, and it feels really weird.
You want to know what the biggest comparison to him calling it dad was? The only way it could have been more uncomfortable is if they made a Rise of Skywalker moment out of it, where like Knuckles or Tails were like, "Hey, get over here, Sonic. By the way, I never asked what's your last name." Wachowski. Sonic Wachowski. And that's the only way that scene could have been more uncomfortable, is if he just straight up took the last name.
Okay, I understand why that's the way I should have taken that comment. The immediate thing, and I feel bad that this is how I interpreted it. When you said take it the Rise of Skywalker path, I thought you meant that the way they're going to resolve their relationship is that they kiss at the end for no reason.
I'll be honest.
Don't give the deviant artists any ideas.
I'm gonna have to look this up now, but like nearly like for you. I didn't mind the dad thing. I think they shouldn't have had him call him dad, though. That was so on the nose, it almost made me uncomfortable. Like, I would have.
Because you can leave the familial implication, but calling him dad is really weird.
But yeah, Nearly, what did you think of the daddy subplot, for lack of a better word?
I mean, I know, like, they had that whole thing in the first movie where, like, oh, you're not my dad, you're my friend, but I mean, he kind of is his dad because he's, like, taking care of him and stuff. What else would he have called him? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, you're my friend that I look after and lives in my house.
Oh, Tom.
I mean, I don't think pet would have worked.
Just call him Tom. Just call him his friend.
I almost kind of liked in the first movie, because like going back to the pet thing, he is just kind of like a dog thing. It's literally like
he literally just hangs out with the dog the entire time.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Ozzy.
I wonder if he can talk to the dog.
By the way, Ozzy, how's there not fan art of you and dog Ozzy?
What?
You're both named Ozzy.
Same reason there's not fan of him and Ozzy Osbourne.
Well,
No.
Yeah,
that's about to happen. I'll make it happen.
I'm just gonna put your two faces on the cover of Snow Dogs, but we're gonna keep Cuba Gooding Jr. in the middle for no reason.
Stop bringing up Snow Dogs. When is our like Air Buddy watch along?
Oh my god. But like, so Gnarly, for you, was there like a standout character that like kind of like, whether it be someone who stood out of like, because one of the weird ones, like I'm kind of surprised how much I really enjoyed how all the new characters were done, because my biggest fear going into this was I love Idris Elba, I feel like he's gonna phone it in and I'm not gonna like his performance, and I surprisingly loved his performance.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess like I guess like for Knuckles, like I think he did a good job, but with his character, it's not really like, it doesn't really remind me of Knuckles from the games or the shows, but when I think about it, it is also kind of fitting for Knuckles. So,
you actually bring up a great point. So if you had to compare it to any incarnation of Knuckles, what would you pull it from?
I guess Sonic Adventure, maybe?
That's interesting, because my
like,
takeaway for it, I got Sonic Boom vibes from this Knuckle, of like, he's just a big dumb himbo.
I mean, well, I haven't seen Sonic Boom, but I guess it's because, like, Knuckles, like, he's, like, he cares about his, like, he cares about his ancestry, he's doing his job, like, he's a devoted, I guess, tribesman, if that's what you want to call it. And they gave him an African accent, so
well, that's literally just Idris Elba. I don't think you should give him, and I would say that's way more of a British accent, but that's just me.
Well, okay, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like I don't know, but I mean, yeah, again, like
it was a weird like amalgam of Idris Elba's normal voice and like leaning into both like a mix of like almost a caveman voice and like a tribal voice.
Do you think Idris Elba was casted like a Jim Carrey situation where they had to one-up it? Because Idris Elba is a fan of video games, not a noted Sonic fan, but like it's really funny of like he shouldn't work. This movie should be above him, but he weirdly fits it way better than he should.
Well, because my favorite thing to hear before the movie came out, again, another reason why I was like, I'm weirdly excited for this one, was Idris Elba was very vocal. He's like, yeah, I was like really trying to get into the depth of his character and like looking into all the media and really getting to the core of what Knuckles is and getting into his mindset, basically method acting Knuckles. And I'm like, he is giving a ridiculous amount of care and passion to bringing Knuckles to life. And I can respect it. He does not put in no effort, no matter what the project is.
Gnarly, would you say, like, did you want him to be more I'm the badass strong warrior without the dum-dum moments? Because I know, like, that's kind of a hard line to draw with his character.
Yeah, I mean... Like, okay, what do you mean, like, dum-dum moments?
Of, like... I think of, like, moments that, like, I've seen people complain about that I just think, like, yeah, that's some kind of fitting for his character, is, like, when they're back at the Mean Bean coffee house, and the dot. Like, that just seems like, he's not dumb, but it's just, like, he's so fish out of water that, like, he takes everything at face value, and that's just, like, his character, whereas, like, some people could make, like, I think it would, and I actually really like that the movie never really, overtly makes fun of him for how he doesn't get it. It's like, yeah, you can kind of laugh at him for like, oh, he doesn't know how to say baseball or he doesn't know like food and stuff, but it's one of those things of just like, I thought it was interesting because, yeah, like you mentioned, they do a good job of developing his character of like, yeah, you understand like why he would feel this way because of his history, because of his childhood and like his, like the upbringing he had. I will say, quick aside, why was he with those random humans? Did he pick them up? Did those humans pick him up in the beginning? Does he care that Robotnik killed them? Are they there forever? Were humans?
I don't think those were humans. They definitely... Well, okay.
Are they other echidnas?
Remember, he's the last of his kind. So they can't...
Okay, I guess maybe. The idea was they were some kind of like... I don't know if I'd call them mercenaries, just like some traveling group that was supposed to be figuring out where the heck the Master Emerald was.
I'm gonna call Major B. My only two lore problems with this movie is who the hell were those people in the beginning that Knuckles was with? And clearly Knuckles didn't care. And number two, what fucking world did Tails live on? Does Tails just not have parents? Why can't we see what it looked like? Did he have any friends? Who birthed him?
He did not. That is confirmed. He had none. No, but like, listen, it fits in line with Knuckles' character. We've already seen that someone just goes, haha, Master Emerald, and he's like, all right, new team.
Yeah, he's very easy like that. But yeah, it's just so weird of like, I don't know, because like there were moments without any context. I remember I saw a clip of the snowboard fight and I was like, wow, Idris Elba, you sound like you are so just reading this off of paper. And which made me sad because I was like, I clearly didn't expect him to like give this role his all, and it's not even like his best movie. That clearly goes to Hobbs and Shaw. But like it was interesting because in the context of the movie, it really is. It's like it really was just the fact of like, no, he's just, I'm here to stop you. I'm this guy. You're that guy. Because like his whole life, he's just, I'm a warrior. I protect the emerald. You're the bad guy. That's all I know. That's his personality, and he's just being used as a big old weapon. So it was kind of interesting of like, when I had that extra context, I not only appreciated the performance of Knuckles more, but I also then like, I really liked those moments of him doubting himself, doubting Robotnik. I liked the moment before he got blown up on the hill of like him and Sonic talking about like how they both lost their parents. Like, I think there's really genuinely good moments with the character when he kind of like is not just being used for action set pieces, but obviously you have to use that character because we're not going to have Sonic fight Jim Carrey for 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm glad that like most of the jokes with him weren't really mean-spirited. They were like endearing, even if he was a little stupid, dumb little baby.
Was it Gnarly or Ozzy? Who said they were mercenaries?
Me.
Gilberto Robles, and I just double-checked this to prove it. In a prequel comic, it is confirmed that they were mercenaries from another world working with Knuckles.
Where
did he find these mercenaries?
I don't know. How did he get off his home planet? He found a way.
He went on the Sonic equivalent of Mos Espa, and he looked for the nearest mercenaries he could.
You know, more likely than not, the mercenaries just came to him, he beat the crap out of them, and he's like, you're gonna help me find the emerald. And just kind of tagged along.
Them as well. Thank you also for the Sonic movie lore. That's fantastic. Although, actually, it does get into a point, because I did bring up the runtime. I've seen that kind of brought up. Gnarly, how did you feel about the time? Did you think the movie was just right, good pacing, too long? Did you want it longer, shorter?
I thought it was fine.
What about you, Ozzy?
Yeah, I like that. That was one of the few things that never really like stuck out in my mind. It was not too lengthy at all. It wasn't too short. It had about the runtime I wanted. It's just, a lot of the stuff that happened. Like, at the very least, I can say the whole gun wedding stuff was brief, for as stupid as it was.
Should we just get into the human segment? Because I think the human segments is a really big one. Like, go into it of like how you felt about it, but like basically, yeah. So the entirety of the human plot, which I applauded. They were like, hey, we need to have Tom in this movie, but he's not really in this movie. So the entirety of the plot is basically Tom and his wife's sister are in Hawaii. There's a wedding to this guy who is perfect, and then somehow they find a way to tie it into Sonic lore. But like how did you feel about it, like, Ozzy? Like how did you come away from that? Because it is a lengthy part of the movie.
I was just kind of sitting there in awe, because one of the criticisms I was hearing from critics beforehand was the humans aren't in this movie enough, and I immediately cheered because I was like, thank you. Less of them. And I still think there was too much of them. I think, because weirdly enough, I think Tom's character, I didn't love him in the original by any means, but him and Sonic did have a nice, friendly dynamic. It was very standard, but it worked. In this movie, he just kind of is like nothing. He's just kind of bumbling white man. And yeah, none of the other human characters really have anything to them either.
I'm sorry, are you calling Tom bumbling white man in this movie? Are you aware of who the deputy we hung out with was?
There was a lot of bumbling white men in this movie.
I will say this, if you didn't laugh... Okay, I was told by Mary that I was the only one who laughed at this. Did you have any reaction to the... just like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man line, because that killed me. I was like, what a random pull for this kid's movie. Like, let's quote Ghostbusters 1.
Wait. The first time, because the first one I was like, oh, haha, 80s reference, like, I get it. And then they brought it up like 2 more times. I'm like, I get it, guys. Stop it.
Listen,
it's not even...
I would rather have Wade reference Ghostbusters than being single and living with his mom more than once.
You're right. Well, okay, because on one, it's like, oh yeah, 80s reference, but it's not even like, oh yeah, they're pulling like an obscure reference out of nowhere. We literally got a Ghostbusters movie like a few months ago, of all things. Weird, and that's also
one that got almost no promotion from Sony.
Oh, that is
it didn't deserve it though.
Definitely not true. That movie had a ton of promotion. You guys probably didn't see it. Ghostbusters Afterlife had a crap ton of promotion.
I just didn't care.
But so like, Nearly, what about you? Like, do you have any thoughts on Wade? Like, Jonathan brings up a great point of like, I'm glad I'm not the only one who liked him, but like, was that a character you like ever thought about outside of like the 3 scenes he's in?
No.
Okay.
I did not like him in this movie, and this statement could just be wrong on premise. I forgot entirely that he was in the first movie.
Me too.
Maybe he wasn't.
I was like,
be wrong.
It was like Oh wait. Oh. Is actually who plays him?
Oh, I mean, I have no idea. I'm sure he's
A bumbling white man.
I have no idea who plays Wade. I only know John Marston. John Marston.
James Marston.
James Marston from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay, it's Adam Pauly.
Shout out to him.
I'm looking at his filmography. I'm not even seeing the original Sonic movie on here. I'm only seeing 2.
Maybe he wasn't in the original.
Let me look up his IMDb page.
It's in question. No, Wade.
Okay, yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, Wade 1,000%
Yeah, he's in it.
was in the first movie.
Okay, listen, I'll give him one credit. I thought the joke about Longclaw is that your dad? I thought that was like kind of funny. That's all I'll give him. Every other scene in the movie, he could have just not been there.
Hold on.
Well, are we?
Okay, Gnarly, you go, and then I'll say, what was your question?
Well, I was gonna say, like, are we gonna talk about how dumb that whole like wedding thing being fake was?
I will let you get into that, but I want to say this in defense of Wade. Are you two gonna look me in the face through Discord and say that you did not laugh when when Wade said, "I knew a guy in elementary school named Knuckles once because he could fit his whole fist in his mouth"?
Okay.
That line.
I forgot about that.
The same guy, because if he is, we're in serious trouble.
I'll give it that. That was funny.
Just the absolute commitment, but like I could not.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give it. I forgot about that joke.
But no, so yeah, like Gnarly, like go into how you feel about the wedding, because yeah, I get that it's not for everybody. It was like, what
okay, like, I mean, it's just like, okay, first of all, did they, in order to like, spy on, like Sonic, did they really need to like send a guy to marry his like, to like marry his sister-in-law, and like. And you're gonna tell me that like everyone at that wedding was an undercover agent, and also why were they in Hawaii? Like
no, John, I will give you 5 seconds exactly to name a better plan. If you can't do it in 5 seconds, your point is stupid and wrong.
How about just spy on the house?
No.
I was gonna say this. Can we all agree that guy definitely had sex with her? There's no way that man
that was
before they got married. That man straight up had sex before that wedding as part of the job.
There might be a reason why she wanted to kill him.
Or took him back. The fact that after all of that, she's like, you know what? You SOB, I'm taking you back anyway because you're just so damn hot.
No, yeah, but... Yeah, John, you are completely right in that being the stupidest freaking plan of all time.
But when they like pulled out the guns in Hawaii, it's like, why are they in Hawaii? Like, were they expecting Sonic to just randomly come through a ring, and then they're like, oh, there he is?
Can we talk about the fact that they brought back the little girl whose basically only role in the first movie was to give Sonic the game-looking like shoes? And her only
she said a line.
Her only role in this is to be accused of being a gun agent. It's like what a nice free trip to Hawaii this little kid got. Like she had no reason to be in this movie.
Yeah. And like part of me is like it has to be one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, the Redditors think this plan is so stupid that that's the joke, and it has to be ironic. But I think you can only pile so much irony into one film before I stop laughing with the plot or the movie or whatever, and just like, could you just like try something serious with this, please? Like anything, just like one thing to grip onto.
Okay, maybe if one of them was a gun agent, like one or two of them, that would have made sense because it's like they were just sent to kind of check it out. But like all of them being gun agents.
No, I'll say that much. I think if you're gonna go with that idea, I think you have to go all in. I think if you're gonna pull a twist that insanely stupid, you have to commit to, like, these people do not have any other friends. We're just gonna bring this guy's friends along, and all of them are going to be the most nutso military agents that work for an organization called Gun.
Officially government sanctioned, no less. That's government money going into that wedding. That's taxpayer dollars.
Granted, in the first movie, they literally funded Robotnik, so it's not out of character for the government here.
So, I need you. You can all make fun of me for this, but I genuinely have to ask 2 questions. First, were you surprised when he revealed himself to be a secret agent?
Yes.
Kind of.
Okay, I legitimately had no idea. I just thought this movie was committing to this absolute, like, Top Gun background character body-lifting guy. I was like, sure, he's marrying her.
That's the,
like, I thought
like, the whole...
How could this relate to the plot? Like, there's no way they could tie this in.
That's the thing. I thought it was just like a dumb like B plot to keep the human characters occupied, and that, which I'll say that I'll give that part of it. That was probably an intentional bait and switch of you think that the joke is Sonic's gonna somehow ruin the wedding, and like he's gonna crash through, and there's gonna be Sonic's fault, and they're gonna have to deal with whatever like conflict James Marsden has with him. But then they subvert it. It's like, no, that's not why the wedding's ruined. The wedding was fake to begin with. I'll give it that much credit. I think that's funny. It's just the execution is so stupid, and they didn't have to do that.
The priest opening the Bible to show his gun was a step too far.
Yeah.
They were like, even you? He could have shown it. He could have shown a badge. He could have shown armor. No, just I have a gun on me right now.
That does remind me of another joke that I was like, you're stretching it out a bit, but I at least appreciated the bit of the dude getting tased trying to save his fiance, and just like I can't get up. Everything's so cold. Just I think I'm done. Just like, what are we sleeping on? The guys, get up, idiot.
That's not the one I was gonna pull. The wedding joke in Yarly. I need you to tell me, did this at least get a chuckle out of you? When Tom's wife and her sister are using all the guns and Tails' equipment and stuff, when they're using all of that, and the one guy they use the anti-grav portal on, and it's just like, he's dead. That guy's never coming back down, and I'm like, I think that's the joke, is that guy's dead. He's never gonna come back to Earth. And even when he landed,
Well, he came back later.
When he came back later, he also is probably dead. They didn't show him get like that guy fell at least 500 feet.
Okay. That joke is retroactively less funny because he comes back down.
That's true.
I will say that with certainty.
I mean,
I bet someone was
if
like,
they wanted,
bring him back.
yeah, it's like, well, I'm just thinking like, okay, how did he live? I mean, I think it would have made more sense if he fell into the water.
Well, because like, even like I'm not thinking about how he lives when he lands. I'm just thinking like, if you're gonna commit to this guy is just going straight up, and they literally point out like, do we know if he's gonna come back down? I get the slapstickiness of it. It's like, oh, he's gonna crash down, haha. But I'm like, no, this movie would be so much funnier, especially on a rewatch. Just thinking about this guy going up, and it's like, oh, we never see him again. He's just gone.
No. That would have been the post credits. So Shadow's technically halfway through the credits. The actual post credits is that guy's in space and he's still not coming down. And then in Sonic 3, he comes down at the end of the movie, and finally, that's the only way him living would have been an amazing payoff of like just going for years and years and years. But like, the one thing I want to see what you guys think about this with the wedding. I at least give them bonus points. When it was done, it was done. There was never at the end of the movie, we have the baseball scene, and then we check in and see how the sister's doing with the FBI agent, with the gun agent. Like, they were like, we're done. You don't need to go back to that plot.
Yeah, we don't get the real wedding afterwards. We didn't need it. It was just, they set up gun, they were done. They were out.
Yeah.
Okay, but... Okay, I do want to mention one weird thing. Gun didn't do anything. Like, they didn't really influence the final plot. They just gave Eggman a little bit more metal to build his final robot. They didn't do anything.
There for comedic relief.
I mean, when does Gun do anything?
That's a great point. They're really good at throwing giant trucks down San Francisco areas.
And news continue.
So then nearly, I guess, because really there's only like 2 characters we haven't really talked about too much. We'll do the short one first. How do you feel Sonic as a character progressed in this one? Because I think it is a character, he definitely probably has the least, pun intended, mileage in terms of character development, but I didn't think he really needed a lot. Like, how did you feel about how Sonic was as a character from the beginning of this to the end of this?
I mean, I thought he was fine. He didn't really change much since the first movie.
Like what's the lesson
But
here? Because isn't it just have friends and wait for the day to be bad and don't be Batman, I guess?
I mean, I guess.
I guess because my weird thing was, like, Tom made a big point of, hey, don't be a vigilante, just be a kid. And I get it, because he's very bad at being a vigilante. But,
Okay, Daddy.
But, Jesus. But also, I kind of wish we could have removed that initial subplot, and then we could have just had it all be like Sonic's really lonely, they're going to the wedding, and he wants friends. Because I think I liked the overall message of Sonic needs friends, and I liked that was tied in. It just felt like the whole like Blue Justice thing was like, we just need to have like a quick initial segment. I will say this though, that entire opening segment, not insulting, overly long, and pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole segment of like being set to, what was it, Run DMC or whatever. Like it's fine, but like you're not walking away from Sonic 2 being like, he sure learned a lot about responsibility.
You did just make me realize something. One, yeah, I always completely forget about that opening scene, just entirely. Which is really weird because it's very flashy and long. But it's really weird that the movie keeps pushing the thing where, like, yeah, the humans are like, yeah, Sonic sure needs friends, and the whole moral is like Sonic finally has like a group to call his own. But it's almost like all the other characters are pushing that like moral and need onto Sonic, because it doesn't ever seem to ail him. He's alone, like everyone leaves, and he's fine. He's vibing. He's doing a perfectly okay job being alone, and then Eggman just attacks. Like he never thinks about, hey, it'd be sad if I was doing this by myself.
He's got the dog with him.
I guess, yeah, but then like he's fine with that, so he doesn't really need to worry about anyone else, supposedly.
Well, I mean, like, there is a difference between, like, not having any, like, friends, like, you know, your age to interact with, and just your parents leaving for a couple days.
I get that. It's just, it's not something that seems to affect him in the movie, which I find really weird that they're, like, pushing that as the moral, because it doesn't affect him whatsoever.
Well, I'm guessing, like, at the end of the movie, they don't need to, like, keep his existence a secret anymore.
I mean, yeah, but, like, that wouldn't have changed if there were 3 of them or not.
So Jothan brings up a great point in chat. He says, to kind of mix the two of, like, friendship and responsibility, I think his lesson was responsibility, and he learned how to be responsible by looking out and taking care of Tails as a true hero. And again, that's a good point about, like, how Tails is definitely... Tails is the most, might be, the most shoehorned in character in cinematic history. Of literally, like,
but it works somehow.
I exist because I stalked you, and we somehow aren't gonna think it's weird. And also, shout out to all the kids who, if you got that reference of Tails watches Sonic in the shower / bath, that also another great joke that only I laughed at in a theater full of Sonic fans. But like,
yeah.
I do get that a little bit more of, like, it's like Sonic has to learn responsibility, and then in the effort of it ends up getting friends. It's just like, yeah, I feel like we could have either picked a lane a little bit more, but I do definitely get that. I at least am like, I like Tails. I think Colleen did a fantastic job literally just being Tails, as she has been for so many years. I will say, I had an amazing moment with Mary halfway through the movie when they're in Hawaii and Sonic's like, quick, he needs a doctor, he's not doing good. Mary leans to me and says, Tails is a boy? boy? And I was about to lose my shit, because of course, why would you think Tails was not a boy? But then it's also like...
Granted...
I mean, maybe if the only game you played is Sonic Heroes.
Okay, I find it funny, not when it didn't happen when I was watching it, but the friend I did see Sonic with, it was his second time watching through it, and apparently when they were having the scene of just, like, sitting there, like, where Sonic's like, yeah, buddy, like, we're totally friends, huh? Like, right after the whole, I guess, like, bar fight, or, like, the diner, some guy in the back just... Yeah, some guy in the back apparently just shouted "kiss" already.
Oh my god!
They got a strong bromance.
So, anyone here either overly positive, neutral, negative about Tails? How did you guys feel about Tails being in the movie? I thought Tails was shoehorned in, but once they were in, I was like, I like this. They immediately had a really good like dynamic with each other.
Weirdly enough, as blatantly just Tails is here, this is the plot now, he was probably my favorite part of the movie somehow. Because, like, he is easily the most... like, Knuckles and Sonic are very much channeling the energy of Knuckles and Sonic. Tails was just Tails. Like, the character, just from, like, all existing Sonic media. With, like, the voice and the behavior and everything. And I really liked him. I thought they did good with him. His little quirks and his little arc, again, very forced in, but it made sense, and I appreciated it. Yeah, I thought he was the best part of the movie, at least in my experience. Well, okay, I think the final fight might be the best part of the movie, but he's up there.
I'm glad you changed your mind, because I would not have said Tails is the best part of the movie, but I think Tails is a good part of the movie. Gnarly, what about you? Like, where did Tails rank for you in all of this?
Yeah, I do agree that he was kind of shoehorned in, but I mean, I think, like, he did, I don't know who played him, but I think, like, I think they got the character right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the person who played Tails was literally just the original voice actress.
She's been Tails since Sonic Adventure, right?
I think so.
Wait, don't tell me she was Tails.
That might have been different.
Was she Tails in Sonic Heroes?
Well, I was gonna say I know that she's been Tails at least since Sonic X. Like, it's that same version of Tails.
Sonic Adventure 1 was definitely a different voice.
Well, I mean, because I know that, like, I can't, like, I know, like, they had the voice actors for Sonic Adventure 1. But then Sonic X had a different cast, and then they started using the Sonic X cast with Shadow the Hedgehog.
Either way, it's the person who has been in through all the most recent games. Anytime you see Tails, it is this person. So, like, I will say, I almost was like, it's weird now, because it's like, she's the only thing that's tied to the games? So it's kind of like, yeah. I almost wish they also would have just made another weird casting choice of, like, because now it's like all over the place of, like, Ben Schwartz, very a comedian's comedian. Of, like, he's not a household name, but you've seen him around and he's a funny guy. Idris Elba, very popular actor. And then,
yeah, like an action drama star.
And then voice actor from video games.
And then Jim Carrey, who is, I'm pretty sure, just like all of the above.
I mean, for the live action stuff, it's a little bit more of like, oh, whatever, but like, it is interesting. Like, I do wonder, like, was there ever, because like, my brain, when at least I saw the first Sonic, I always thought they got the same voice actor, and this is not me saying anything against her. Again, I think she's a great voice actor. I took it from the second movie, from the post-credits of the first movie as, oh, she's probably really cheap. And that's why they got her to do it. Whereas like the whole thing with it was, okay, maybe it's fan service. It is a weird one, because like, I remember there was a part of me that was like, and realistically, there's a reason Ben Schwartz got the role of Sonic and not Roger Craig Smith, even though Roger Craig Smith auditioned for it. Like, Roger Craig Smith could have still done this movie, and it would still be just as good. I like that both of them exist now. That was clearly on a... Because remember, like, Roger Craig Smith, like, lost the role of Sonic and then got it back. Because, like, voice actors are just viewed as really cheap and disposable. So, like, unless they have a name recognition to them, and Roger Craig Smith outside of a niche circle of people online, the guy from Parks and Rec is more recognizable than voice actor from Apex Legends and Sonic. It's just, like, the way it works for it. So, it is very interesting of, like, what line were they kind of going for? Because now, it almost going back to Shadow, it's like, they could just get the guy who does Shadow. He does a great job. Like, have they ever, like, how many Shadow voices have there been in English?
Yeah.
Or they can just get Jared Leto.
Oh gosh, please no. Or please do. I'll take either.
The Morbius sweep continues. Oh, excuse me. Jason Griffith started in Sonic X as Shadow. Kirk Thornton has been Shadow since Sonic Boom. But, oh, also, don't be lame and do what Twitter says. Don't just give Keanu Reeves Shadow the Hedgehog. That's too easy. Does anyone want to, like, put a do or don't for Shadow?
You know,
I hope he says damn.
Damn.
At least once.
I mean, in this movie, I feel like I'm legitimately certain they could get away with at least, like, him saying, like, shit. Like,
in a PG movie,
you can get
I don't know
away,
about that.
I'll look up.
There are some that have.
You can say curse words.
Yeah,
like,
from like the 80s.
No, not even now. Like cartoons, like say curse words and stuff.
They like usually even in PG they'll allow you one.
It's like
and then you get
like
to PG-13 and they just up which ones you can.
Okay,
well, if you guys remember Beetlejuice, that has a PG rating, and in it Michael Keaton says nice fucking model.
Okay, so check this out.
But again, that movie's 30 years old.
We've got a couple of different things that you can say. That is very interesting. Words you can use in a PG movie: crap, ass, arse, bloody, whore. Apparently, you could say twat. Shadow could get away with calling someone a twat, and I'm here for it because I think.
Well, I mean, is this MPAA?
This is MPA according to MPAA.
Because it's worse. I mean, it's worse like in Britain.
You can say hell. You can also say screwed. I never thought screwed is like a curse word. No joke. You can. I love that this is a thing you can get away with. You can straight up call someone the C word and it still be PG.
Oh my gosh.
That is insane. No one would do it.
You know
That's
what?
Insane.
You know what, Spencer? Honestly, alright, give me Peter Capaldi. Just make him Shadow. It doesn't need to fit.
That would be like, just keep getting random famous British actor. Peter Capaldi as like really angry Shadow would be such a...
He honestly... If he can get an American enough accent, his voice honestly is not the furthest thing from Shadow.
Oh, man. You know what was a weird one I was thinking about for... Like, if they had to go big Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird one, but stick with me.
Nicolas Cage.
Ooh, he could actually... And that's just B-movie enough that actually oh my god, and then if they bring...
I think he would actually do a great Shadow with, like, full sincerity. Because he's proven with Spider-Verse, he can do some good voice acting.
Shout out to the massive weight of unimaginable talent that comes out.
I need to watch that.
I saw that early at a screener, and I'm very okay to break my NDA. A fantastic movie. If you love Nicolas Cage,
that movie looks brilliant.
So good. It's so good. But yeah, man, damn, you really stole the win from my sales there. No, yeah, Nick Cage would be like a perfect movie Shadow of like cheesy.
What were you gonna say?
I now just feel like so basic of like just thinking of some like actual like big name current actor was like I think that would be the most fitting. It's like, nope, I'm just gonna will it into existence with you now. Nick Cage, I think, would be a perfect choice. And what's he gonna do? Say no?
He does not say no. He just doesn't.
Couple last things, because we were pretty much just kind of talked the whole time about like characters, and that gives a good amount of points for it. But I do want to talk about a couple of set pieces. Do you guys have a favorite set piece? Like, Gnarly, was there like one, like either location or moment that you were like that really stood out to you, as like you liked a lot?
I think it was that fight in the temple.
Oh my god, dude! Shout out to,
That
by the
was
way,
good.
did you guys know that was 2 references in one? The outside is Hidden Palace Zone, and then the inside is like ancient like mechanical garden or something.
Wait, it's Hidden Palace Zone? I thought it was Lost World.
No, it's not tied to Lost World. No, because it's both from 2 and 3, but the outside specifically is Hidden Palace, which, if you remember, is actually a lost stage from Sonic 2. So, no, that would be funny if there was a Lost World cue, but sadly, I don't think most people remember that for it. But no, that's actually, you picked that one. Like, was it just because of like the booby trap stuff, the fight at the Master Emerald? Like, which one stood out to you about it?
Yeah, I'd say the fight at the Master Emerald.
What about you, Ozzy? Which one like stood out to you the most for the movie?
I would say that the Master Emerald fight was really good. I would probably give it to the last fight, particularly like once it's no longer just we're forming a plan. Once they're actually doing stuff and ultimately we get the whole like supersonic thing, I thought that was rad. It was really cool. One thing I can easily give this movie over the first is the first movie I really did not care for most of the action. I thought like the slow-mo like missile throwing scene was kind of neat. And the final fight was good.
Literally, the final fight's the only good action segment from the whole first movie, I would say.
Yeah.
Because remember,
like,
the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie is just a buddy adventure road trip movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. Literally, the only time that my attention was actually grabbed in that movie was the final fight for about 2 minutes. I was like, okay, finally something I actually care about. This movie, I didn't have that issue. I thought all the action sequences were pretty good.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Rob and Jotham, for the correction. The inside is Labyrinth Zone. The outside was Mystic Ruins. So, just quick little...
That's what I meant when I said Lost World.
Why would I know that? Why would I not?
Because that's the title of the stage!
But I thought there's a game. There's a game called Sonic Lost World on the Wii U and 3DS.
No! Oh my...
I was like, clearly Gnarly is the #1 Wii U fan. Of course he would bring up the Wii U. Can you guys believe they didn't have a reference to Link and Yoshi in this? What an absolute travesty.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta say, I'm surprised neither of you two have mentioned this yet. But you did bring it up earlier, Gnarly. I didn't want to give you credit for this. I straight up at the final fight was ready for them to just start bringing, like, for them to bring out, I was ready for them to just bring out Crush 40 and start playing the theme song to Sonic Heroes. Because when it was all 3 of them fighting, I was like, this is just Sonic Heroes now.
I was really shocked that they didn't have Crush 40. Because they did do, like a proper rock track, but I thought it was going to be, like, a proper Sonic reference, but they skimped on it. They very easily could have in its place, and they didn't.
Gnarly, what about you? Were you getting Sonic Hero vibes from the ending?
Not really.
Really? Okay, so were you just like more like just kind of thinking ending of Sonic 3, or like what did the giant Death Egg fight? Well, I know it's not the Death Egg, but what did the giant Eggman machine fight give you?
Honestly, it reminded me of Metal Robotnik from the 1999 animated Sonic movie.
Oh, the OVA?
Yeah. Well, it was OVA in 1996, and then they just released it as a movie.
Gotcha. It's also not a shout out, but a reprimand to Cobra Dude. said, "What did you think of the Styx the Badger reference?" In which I had to look
What?
up, was Styx
The
the
what?
Badger reference true? No,
The
Styx.
fuck is Styx the Badger?
Me when I see a badger walking around in the background, it's her!
Styx the Badger was the exclusive character. No one remembers from the game Sonic Boom, but everyone actually enjoyed from the cartoon Sonic.
Yeah, she's a main character in the show.
Oh, shout out though, because this just came out. Oh my god, Cobra Dude, if the boomerang.
I don't think that's a Styx reference, is it? I don't think so.
That's her weapon, but if her name was on it, maybe hard to.
I would genuinely believe it more, like in the case of they bring out a hammer as a weapon. I'd be like, oh, it's an Amy reference. That makes more sense than a boomerang, which is like one of the most common weapons for like something that's non-lethal.
I'm so worried for the internet when they find out that Amy Schumer is going to be the voice of Amy in Sonic.
I will blow something. No.
Oh, that is true. It did leave an orange trail. That could. This movie is weird.
Well, all of Tails' weapons.
I would give it the chance for that, but
all of Tails' weapons left orange trails.
That is true, but there was a thing I was going to say about the fight. No, it wasn't actually about, because I've mentioned Sonic Boom 9,000 times, and I actually want to give a weird specific shout out to. Shout Factory just released the entire season 1 and 2 on Blu-ray and a combo set, and it's in a steelbook. It is absolutely fucking gorgeous. If you've not watched Sonic Boom, it's one of those, this is a kid show that is made by Sonic fans who are very self-aware, and it is very funny.
I've seen a little bit. I do want to actually sit down and watch more of it, though, because it, unlike the game, actually seems like some of the best Sonic media we've gotten, like, ever.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I liked the final fight. I liked the solution wasn't, let's work together. Like, they still couldn't beat him, even with them all working together. I liked that the Master Emerald in Robotnik was such a legitimate threat that, like, it took everything they had until they became supersonic. Really weird aside, but this is one thing of, like, I got why they didn't use them a lot. I mentioned how much I love Agent Stone.
They didn't use him as much as they should have.
It felt like there was like some, maybe Jim Carrey was busy, because clearly the guy who does Agent Stone would have just been there all day on set. But it was like, I felt like we got more of him in the first movie, and I get that he was supposed to be back at home, like working on their like big secret plan. But it's also one of those things of like, he was just kind of playing like one of those weird My Dress Up Elsa games, but for Robotnik on his iPad at home. So I just don't get why he wasn't there more, because I loved how, man, this movie really went out of its way to let you know that him and Robotnik are very homosexual for each other, and I was here for it.
Well, the weird thing about Stone is it very much felt like, you know, one of those characters that was just kind of there as like a supporting role that fans clung on to, because he was like shockingly entertaining in the original with his dynamic with Robotnik. So you would expect, like, this movie seemed to lean into, we're gonna give you more Stone stuff that leans into those attributes and, like, is entertaining. And I thought he was great. But then, like, midway through the movie, like, Robotnik is like, we're just gonna ditch him. And I thought they were gonna make a joke about it, or, like, he'd maybe become, like, disenfranchised with him, or, like, we get something else. But no, that's, like, the second to last scene that has Stone. They literally just ditch him for the rest of the movie.
I'm at least glad they used him for the final fight, but then I got immediately bummed out when he just got knocked out like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Here's a weird one. Did you guys like the instruction manual joke? That one felt really forced to me. Like, I was kind of like, I get it.
It was a lot of setup for a visual gag that I was like, that's cute. I was like, that was it. I was like, hey, look, it's a Genesis box. Okay. You can continue with the movie now.
I guess actually we talked about this though but okay, so Sonic turns into Supersonic at the end. Gnarly, how do you feel that was the okay, he wins now? Like, do you think that was a good way to do it? Did you like how he ended it? I specifically would also like to know, did his final attack remind you of anything?
I'm trying to... I know it reminded me of something, I just can't remember what. But I mean, yeah, I do think it was a fitting climax.
Please tell me if you disagree. When I saw this, I immediately thought, this is literally his final smash. It's literally like, oh, cool.
Oh.
He's just going in and out of it, doing tons of damage. Like, this, like, maybe I'm crazy. That to me was like, this feels like a direct reference to his final smash attack in Smash Bros.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, that's cool, like, cause like honestly, like Supersonic is really hard to be like. It is the most it's just God form. I like he gave it up. The chili dog thing was funny. Maybe the chili dog thing is weird. Of like, yeah, it's his food, but I'm also it's like, yeah, it was okay. I was like, I feel like it could have done like a little something else with it, but like I'm not like too like terribly like whatever about it, but I liked that they used it just enough because it still felt like I liked the Knuckles and Tails with the holograms. Also, shout out to the holograms only being not forced in as a last-minute god mechanic due to the world's probably most forgettable dance battle, but only forgiven by the fact that the fish telling them to run felt like fucking a SpongeBob gag come to real life.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny. I don't know if that was cringy to you guys, but the whole, like... Because my immediate fear was when I saw them, like, go into the, whatever, like, Siberian, like, bar or whatever. I was like, oh, don't just be a bar fight like the last movie. And it sure wasn't. It was... It was different, but
it was
like,
a bar dance-off.
It was a bar dance-off that I felt I enjoyed, but equally knew it was overstaying its welcome. I was like, you probably didn't need to be this long.
Wait, Jotham, what do you mean the foot tap is a Sonic 06 reference? That was definitely a thing before 06.
Maybe the, like, super sped up one? Because it was, like, a more sped up foot tap? But yeah, that's kind of like he did the finger wag.
It's like Sonic ran fast, like in Boom.
I'll look this up. Maybe Sonic 06 foot tap is a very specific moment I'm forgetting. Because Sonic 06...
Well, because it was the little, yeah, because it was the little hologram that Eggman had when he was forming his plan that Knuckles tries to punch. But I did not think that was specifically 06. I'm pretty sure it's more akin to like some of his earlier stuff.
But, yeah, so shout out to Bruno Mars for somehow getting Uptown Funk money still. Out of all the songs they could have danced to, it's choice.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I don't want to end calling out things, so I at least want to end this with, if you guys need time, let me know, because I have mine already queued up. Was there one joke or one moment that stood out to you as just really funny that you want to give a shout out to?
I'll
let you guys take a second. I'll say mine. I'm such a sucker for these, but when they were getting the map, or I guess the directions to where the Mastered Emerald was, and they were getting the explanation of the lore between the Echidnas and the Longclaws, and Sonic's initial response is just, oh my god, they've been at war with each other for ages, just like Vin Diesel and The Rock. I was like, that joke is so accurate, and no one in this theater should get it, and most didn't. But
It's like, so specific.
It's so specific. That's like almost as like blatant as like, hey, do you remember that joke we made last year? Like, it's like almost an inside joke of just weird. It's not even pop culture. It's like specific. Hey, I hope fans of Fast and the Furious are watching, which I am. I'm here for it, because the Fast and Furious joke in the last movie fucking killed it for me. So it's just one of those things.
It is funny referencing those movies while having Idris Elba there.
That is also true, but like, it's just one of those weird things of like, much like the Olive Garden joke of, it feels like product placement until you realize it's not. It's not a Universal movie. This is just here to be a dumb joke.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you two? Like, what like one joke or one scene just really stood out from you? Like looking back on it.
I like the scene where Eggman flosses. I thought that was a clever. I thought that was a clever joke.
That'll be remembered as the Rosebud moment of 2022, I think.
Oh my gosh.
What if Rosebud, like, what if we like re-edited Citizen Kane, but instead of his final line being Rosebud, it's just later haters?
That would be beautiful.
So what's your actual answer, you fraud?
Yeah, Jotham quoted it for me. I think we'll send her a gift card. Like, other than the jokes we've already mentioned, yeah, we'll send her a gift card is the one that sticks with me. I was just like, okay, you've earned back my shaking of head.
Gnarly, what about you? What's your scene?
Maybe the like robot stairs one in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
The one where Knuckles is clinging to the wall, and then he's like, "You think?" I can't remember what he says, but he's like, I will defeat your robots." And oh, they are stairs.
That was, honestly, surprisingly.
It's like I was
surprisingly good chemistry between Eggman and Knuckles. Of like, they weirdly work together because they really shouldn't. Like, they're just so different. And honestly, no game that ever has had them team up has ever really had them like play into each other. It's like jokes, but like I think the one that always gets remembered is the ... just because like how long it goes on. But even like little things of like a running joke I really liked. I loved how the handshake kept coming back, and it always made me laugh of how much everyone hated it. Of like, he learns that, yeah, this is how you show you're friends with someone. You have to break their hand. And God bless Jim Carrey for being the only one to commit to putting his fingers back into place. I was like, the movie did not need that, but I appreciated that commitment. Well, that was 90 minutes of us talking about Sonic 2. Does anyone else have any final thoughts? Things they want to say? Hopefully, nothing. No Ugandan knuckle memes. Any other words?
We sure could have.
Well, I mean, you guys want to try predicting the plot for the third movie?
I do, and I also want to predict the plot of. How do you do a Knuckles show now?
Yeah.
That. It's gotta be a prequel, right? Because otherwise it's gonna involve Sonic and Tails. But, I do have to ask this, because I did remember, I was thinking of, like, I didn't want to end on what's our least favorite joke, but there was one joke that I was like, this was probably the only joke that I thought this was for children. Is the scene of Sonic, well, it's the flashback of when he was out rescuing people at the beginning of the movie, and it's like, how did Tom know that Sonic went out? It's because Sonic made a Ferris Bueller recording of him farting, thinking Tom would leave because Sonic farted. And I went, this joke, this might be, this is reminding me this is a kid's movie, of him being like, no, Tom.
It's keeping the kids in their seats.
No, Tom, don't come in, my fart joke. Oh, no. Okay, I will say, that joke made me cringe. But again, improvisation by Ben Schwartz saved it. When immediately while he's being told that story, I knew I should have used real farts. That saved it. That saved it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. The fake farts are what gave it away. It was the real farts would have really saved it. It's like, that's the fucked up thing. Like, even when I can think of a thing to nitpick about this movie, there's just some stupid that brings me back to it.
Yeah. Because, like, you got talented comedians doing the VA work. It's just, you know, the writing itself is more hit or miss.
Yeah. But yeah, so nearly, I'll let you go. So what are your predictions for Sonic 3 outside of Shadow will be Shadow?
Well, I have a feeling that Gerald Robotnik might make an appearance.
Come.
Well, I mean, because because it was basically him that designed Shadow, and like, you know, Shadow's gonna be in the movie. I think, like, I don't know exactly, like, man, of course I don't know, but I think they're gonna go for, like, I think it's gonna be like kind of a more serious with the next movie, kind of like Sonic Adventure 2 was.
Well, I I have something to add on to that then, John.
Okay.
What if they do like a Sonic Adventure 2 plot and we get Gerald Robotnik, but whenever we see him, he is also played by Jim Carrey.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
if they don't bring back Jim Carrey as like Robotnik, like they hold off on it, bringing him back in the form of Gerald would actually be funny.
That's a choice. I'll say that at least. That would be a choice. I'm in the weird stance of like I haven't seen a lot of people bring this up. I really would like to see them just take a chance and make Stone the villain. Make him just be.
That would be fun.
I am not as wacky as Dr. Robotnik, but I'm basically just like his protege out to get revenge for you, quote unquote, killing him.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I don't think Robotnik is going to be the villain the third time in a row. So it's like, who's it going to be? I mean, it's not going to be Black Doom. It's not going to be Chaos.
Well, here's the thing. I was gonna say, if they want to do something that is actually like in a way faithful to the games, that would be entertaining. And I doubt they do this, but do like a basically straight retelling of like Sonic Adventure 2. You don't need to have Rouge or Omega, but if you do, it'd be neat.
Well, Omega wasn't in Sonic Adventure 2. He was in Heroes.
You're right. Not Omega, but yeah, Rouge, whatever. Yeah, because I forgot it was Eggman who did
Yeah,
the
you
other
played
one.
as
for Sonic movie Rouge. Oh my God.
Well, because
Well, I was gonna say Eggman. You basically played Eggman for
Yeah,
those
yeah.
sections.
No, yeah, I forgot it was him. But yeah, instead of Space Wizard, just make it Chaos.
Dude, if
they
like
fill the same
Yeah.
freaking role.
yeah, I mean if the third Sonic movie did have any references to Shadow the Hedgehog, I would just love to see all the gaming YouTubers get triggered by it.
Well, because here's my jokey thing is because immediately out of the movie, my friend asked the same thing. He's like, "What do you think the next movie is going to be?" And I'm like, "Yeah, specifically adapt the Shadow Android plot from Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog. Just skip Adventure 2. We're just sticking with that."
Here's a weird question, because I find it interesting. I don't think anyone's brought this up. Why do you think we all just agree Shadow will be in the movie, but he won't be the main bad guy? Kind of like how Knuckles was in the movie, but we knew he wasn't the bad guy.
Yeah, well, he's gonna I mean, you know what they're gonna do? He's gonna have a fight with Sonic early on, but then at the end they're gonna join up
Well, I'm wondering,
and
like,
fight the real villain.
Is there anything wrong? Like, what if he's just the bad guy? Like, we can get into his origins, but like, what if it is just he's the bad guy? Like, he could just be the bad guy. They don't have to redeem him in the same movie.
They won't, but I think it'd be more interesting if he was. With that said, yeah, he won't be.
Also,
they're gonna pull
Joe
some
brings
big
up a great
demon.
question. With Shadow being in the movie, will we see a small child get capped? I can only hope.
Who, Maria? I think what they might do is they might like. I think they might like make it so that Shadow remembers Maria from his past, and then he realizes that she's alive, but now she's like old.
Here's one weird prediction that I want to try. I want to try to fine line. As great of a job as Sonic does for movie references, I wish we would have actually more voice actor references, in a sense of like, how have we not just had Jaleel White make a Stan Lee cameo? Or like, how have we not had the guy from Sonic Adventure, like at the beginning of the bank heist for this movie? Like, what if he's the kid's dad? Like, you know, the kid who was screaming with the ice cream cone that fell off comedically late? We should have just had, like, the Sonic Adventure 1 voice actor be his dad and just come up to him and really open wide mouth go, "Whoa!"
Dude, have Dan Green make a cameo and make him say "shut up."
Oh my gosh.
Like, I feel like they could lean into that without going, like, obviously, like, they don't need to bring in other dimension like Sonics and stuff. Like, they don't need to do stuff like that. But like, I feel like there's so many like other things they could do besides look. It's that animation from the game of like. There's other stuff they could like pull off. Like, honestly, I was amazed we made it an entire movie without a like reference to bad Knuckles songs or him hunting for the shards of the like Master.
Dude,
Like,
that's who they should get to make a cameo. They should get Marlon Saunders to make it.
And I was just thinking, like,
or just have him like just make a scene. If they have another bar scene, just have him like playing just not the Knuckles song, but just something.
Oh my god.
And then Knuckles shows up, and then he starts playing the Knuckles song.
Who do you want to have first in terms of making a movie appearance with music? As much as I know the internet wants Crush 40, I want a overly serious take on any song from Sonic R.
Yes.
What about the opening song from Sonic CD?
Sonic CD, I think, works too. It's unironically a good song, so that'd be harder. Like, because the way I would do it if I was making Sonic 3, I would have maybe an opening or an ending segment that's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles at a karaoke bar singing "Can You Feel the Sunshine?" Like, that's like a really easy way to do a reference to that. Of like, that seems like a song you would find at a bad, like, Korean town karaoke bar.
Well, cause I was gonna say what came to my mind when you said like a super serious version is just like Sonic climbing out of the rubble or something, and then like trying to chase after the baddie, and it's just like an orchestral mix of Supersonic Racing. Like something trying to take that song way too serious.
Dimikar brings up a great point, and also appreciate you for the super chat. I don't know if we need live action Chow Garden, but I think that's another one of like that'd be really easy as like a throwaway joke of like, what have you been up to, Sonic? Oh, just starting my garden. Like, oh, I didn't know you were a gardener. No, not that kind of gardener. You just see a bunch of crying chows. Like,
no, he's like what he's like playing on like a Tamagotchi, but it's his Chow Garden.
That would be cute. That kind of goes to something I was thinking is because they're setting these movies on real life planet Earth, it does become really awkward, as proven by this movie, to just continuously introduce new characters that are from Sonic. Because, like, Shadow, they kind of had it easy because, you know, he was literally just man-made. But, like, yeah, Knuckles you have to teleport in with Eggman. Tails just shows up by his own volition, just because he was smart. What the heck do we do when...
Can't wait for them to explain Big the Cat hanging out in the pond. Well, you know, Earth has got such great ponds. Me and Froggy had to come here.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think like they should have taken like the Sonic X approach, where like in the first episode of Sonic X, there's chaos control and it like sends all the cast to real life planet Earth. That's how they explain it.
I don't know, maybe they'll retcon that his whole Sonic boom in the first movie brought everyone there like No Way Home style.
Do we want Sonic 3 to take place on Earth? Because I feel like now that we have a whole gang, I feel like now we could just get off Earth. I feel like now we could have like Sonic 3 take place on like, oh god, whatever the planet Sonic CD like takes place on. Like I always forget the name of them all, but like no, wait, no, not even that. Just go to Morbius. Go to Morbius, like
Morbius sweep.
No.
I would rather they just cancel the movie if they're going to Morbius.
Or Mobius.
Mobius, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
Mobius.
Yeah, the Mobius sweep.
Sorry, that was my Sonic Lost World moment of the night.
Don't compare a good movie to a bad one.
I'll say this: Sonic, for being a movie literally 30 minutes longer, I could not believe because like Morbius is only 90-minute long movie, incredibly worse pacing somehow. I will say though, because someone Jonathan said, how are they gonna do Amy, Biggs, Rouge, etc. I will say this: for a character, if you want to do a cheap reference without having to do any CG, do Big the Cat, and it is literally just a scene of his voice actor, John St.
John St. John, aka
John
Duke Nukem,
is literally just fishing with a frog, no context, and that's all it is, and then that's all the fans would need, because he's just such a commanding presence. Like no one would need anything else.
And then he catches a fish, and then he says, "Damn, I'm good."
No, now you're in uncharted territory of like we're gonna have a whole line with Nathan Fillion. Like we didn't need it to be this long, buddy. You could just keep going.
Well, because I was just gonna say, like, off screen, the next movie starts, and they just got a pet cat that they call Big because he's a big old fat one.
Oh my god, that's like that's
like
Netflix adaptation levels of like references.
That's how shocking amount of the references in these movies are. To be fair, it's not everything, but there is that style.
Alright, well, all in all said, let's say we skip ahead 2 years. theaters. By the way, shout out to this for actually coming out 2 years after the original, while being entirely made during quarantine. I cannot believe that they actually got this to come out in just over 2 years.
Yeah.
Shows us it's possible.
So, saying we keep to that same trajectory, I think it might be longer than 2 years, just because I know they're planning on doing the Knuckles show, but hard to say. But either way, assuming whenever Sonic 3 does come out to theaters, will you all still want to see an opening night, assuming nothing horrible like gets attached to it?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I actually saw this movie a day early, but yeah, I'll probably see it opening night.
Like, Ozzy, what would
I
because
think
I know you're still in that 5-6 category with this. What's something that they could throw in the trailer? You'd be like, yeah, I gotta see this now.
give me a shot of like Methalis showing up and stabbing Sonic, and I will be there. I will be there before opening night. I will go straight to the director.
Who's gonna play Elise?
Oh my gosh, get who's the girl who plays Lois Lane in the new DC movies? Amy Adams.
What do you why is that your poll? We literally started this fucking episode talking
with
about
Enchanted.
How do you not know?
Yeah, give me Amy Adams.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say from Enchanted, but that wouldn't have given me the answer as fast.
I'm going to give
if you had asked me that 20 years ago, I'd have said Lindsay Lohan.
Wow.
My gosh.
I'm gonna give a woke broke future prediction for Sonic 3's end credit. Sit with me here. Broke. They just announced it's Chris from Sonic X.
Oh my god.
That's like, oh, here you go. Like, that's the lame thing they could do for Sonic 3's post credits. Sonic 3's post credits, if you want people to like actually flip out. Sonic 3's post credits.
It's gonna be Metal Sonic.
Silver.
No. Oh god, no. Nobody wants to see. Not nobody. Literally, no one.
It's no use.
It's no use, Sonic. And I know I said don't do this if you're gonna do like a multiverse thing, but I think that they would. At the end of Sonic 3, a portal opens up, but this one's different. It's all pixelated, and out comes a shorter, chubbier Sonic.
Please.
Voiced by Jaleel White.
Jaleel White.
Setting up Sonic Generations, the movie.
Made by Illumination.
Oh god, no. But like, I think Generations, it would be a great way to do a movie of the best Sonic game ever, while also including all of those locations and having it just be a best of like, here's this villain, here's this villain, here's this character, and not having to explain it.
That would be a little special. That's all I'll say.
Well, we went officially way longer than I did, and apologies for the silver slander, but I'm speaking for the masses. The masses are not. There's no copium asked for Jill and Joe Schmo out there. The kids don't know who Silver is. I'm sorry. They just don't.
Well, the kids don't know who anyone that's not Sonic is because none of the recent games let you play as anyone else.
Even Sonic Colors, dude. They added more Tails in just for him to not be playable. It was extra insulting. Oh, I know what our final question is. Unless you guys have any other question you want to get through, I have one final question that I think would be a perfect way to end this discussion.
Okay. Can I interject one final comment before that?
Please.
If we get Silver, have him played by Steve Buscemi. That's all I want. That's the only way I'm taking it. That's it.
It's no use.
Just give me Steve Buscemi as Silver, and I'm totally fine with it.
The definition of how do you do, fellow kids, is just getting Steve Buscemi to voice a character you have no idea exists.
Exactly.
Okay. Everybody, and this is definitely a call-out, but I know he'll never see this, and no one watching will ever... I said this to him to know that we're laughing at him, but the more we've gotten away from this premiere, the more I think about a certain Twitter video. Did anyone actually come out of this movie, like, Fidel's like tweet, bro, that was like, who was actually coming out of this movie? Like, this man was coming out of this movie like it was Endgame. And this is for someone who loved this movie. What movie do you think he saw that he came out of? Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think even at the premiere, people were like, bro, we're popping off for this movie.
There are a shocking amount of people who did. A shocking amount.
I need to find them, and if they are people who don't tweet and then immediately video tweet them replying to their own tweet, I will take them very seriously. But like when I saw that video, I just kept thinking to myself, I'm gonna love this movie, and there's no way I'm gonna think, yeah, that's how I would genuinely come out of this premiere thinking.
Well, because I don't know if Michelle is still listening, but like, if Michelle is, we both already know that Victor, our friend, no matter the quality of this movie, is gonna come out being like, this was like my favorite movie ever.
But there's a difference between it's my favorite movie and I need to tweet myself like I'm coming out of the theater. The only words I can do to describe is like, bro, this was a Sonic movie. Like you just seen the second coming of Cinema Christ.
It gives me the same. A lot of Fidel's reactions give me the same energy as Angry Joe's review of Suicide Squad, being like, we've seen all the.
I don't know.
Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad?
The original Suicide Squad.
Oh.
And the reason I think of that, Spencer, is because there's this very specific clip of him having seen that movie and him opening with it with like, yeah, all the critics and everyone coming out of Suicide Squad saying this movie's trash, one of the worst things they've ever seen. And he pauses and he just goes, "This was an awesome movie!" It's so funny.
By the way, very big aside, but because Angry Joe has now come up with the disturbing amount of times in my life, Angry Joe has come up talking to Ozzy, talking to Gnarly, and I shit you not, even came up when I talked to Nom. Nom even brought it up, like, oh no, and Marsh also brought up, by the way,
is it the Jeff Keighley thing?
Speaking of Marsh, because I know he was just on your podcast recently, Gnarly, did you ask Marsh what he's been playing recently?
Fear.
I was like, you two have got to be on an inside fucking joke. Because what?
Yeah,
other
we talked about it. We talked about it in the podcast.
Because he mentioned that on the show, and I thought you had fucked with him and said that to like get him to like say it to me. Because when you told me you were playing Fear in 2022, I was like, no fucking way. And then when he came to me, I was like, I've got it. Like, where's Ashton Kutcher? Two grown men playing Fear. I don't believe it. And it was like Angry Joe and Fear. I can't escape. They keep coming back. It's like a circle. Oh my god. Well, this fever dream has gone on for almost 2 hours, which some might say is an hour and 50 minutes too long. But Gnarly and Ozzy, I want to thank you guys for coming on and being my number one Surrey. I was going to make a furry joke. My number one furry friends for this. So, Ozzy, I'll let you go first. Where can people find you, and what do they need if they want to get pictures of Sonic's toes from you?
Hey, so you can find me at Paramount Pictures on Twitter, SonicTheHedgehog2movie.com, .gov, sorry. Otherwise known as Revived Oziak on Twitter.
I wish Sonic.gov was a thing.
We can make it happen. Listen, that's just gonna be like their teaser website, and it's gonna be, you have to put in a password to get to the gun section, and it's gonna have the shadow plans.
What if Sonic's marketing was as meta as the Batman? You know how there's like a bunch of like ARG stuff with the Batman.
Yeah.
Like, what if they did that hard for God, but no one cared and no one found out?
That would be amazing. Yeah, but you can find me at Revived Oziak on Twitter, or just Oziak here. And, yeah, Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic. Gnarly, where can people find you in your Sonic/Tom fanfic?
Well, you're not gonna find that from me, but if you want that, you can go to DeviantArt. But, you can find me on Twitter at crawling_Gnarly, and my channel at youtube.com/c/Gnarly.
Alright. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this, I don't normally get to talk about movies, but I love watching and talking about entertainment, so I thought might as well. I'm glad we got to talk about this, but I figured instead of a goodbye, I thought it might be fun. Instead of goodbye, all three of us should do our best. Sonic is about to die, and we just got a big old bubble of air. So our bubble of air entering our body noise can be our goodbye. Sound good?
I'm scared
Okay.
of what this is gonna entail.
All you got to do is like you're in Sonic, you're a character in Sonic, you're about to drown, you're about, and you just ran up to a big air bubble. You need to make that noise. That's your goodbye.
All right, who's going first?
All right. Well, no, we all got to go at the same time. That's how it's fair. We'll do 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Insert noise here. All right. So thank you all for listening, and I'm sorry for what you're about to hear. Goodbye, everybody. Whoop whoop.